Well, good morning and welcome to Vision. I'm so glad you're all here. Let's stand together and celebrate. This is the day that God has made. I will rejoice. This is the time to celebrate. Lift up every voice. Enter this moment as God's own heart. Standing with joy in the truth of who we are. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. All right, Jim Mooney, thank you. This is the day that God has made. I will rejoice. This is the time to celebrate. Lift up every voice. Enter this moment as God's own heart. Standing with joy in the truth of who we are. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life. This is the day that God has made.
Yay, that is lovely. Don't you love that? Just gets you all going. Gets you all going. Okay. Just breathe in. Gosh, just breathe in the perfection of this morning. I love it. Let's go into prayer. I know there is only one life. It is God's. Like Ernest Holmes said, that life is perfect. That life is my life now. And what we know, it is the life of all beings everywhere. It is the life of all form. We know that everything in the manifest universe is an outpicturing of this energy that knows of itself and expresses its creativity in form. And I know that we are that, and in fact, everything is that. The very ground that we walk on is holy ground. It is the body of God. So I give thanks for this day, for everyone here, for those online, for those who are busy doing Mother's Day things, for everyone everywhere, knowing that every life is some part of the life of God's. We celebrate that always. We recognize it in ourselves and each other and know it is truth. And so it is. Well, happy Mother's Day. Well, we like to include everybody, really. So happy Divine Feminine Day. Right? Have you? Are you a biological mom? Raise your hand if you're a biological mom. Okay. You're a mom of adopted, right? You have adopted children, foster children. How about grandmothers? How about grandmothers? Right? Grandmothers, great grandmothers. Any great grandmothers around? Oh my gosh! Look at this. It's just lovely, right? You know, it's just lovely. Anybody have a mom? We were all born, so every hand should be up. We were all born, right? You know, they just runs through our lives. And gentlemen, the divine feminine is alive and well in you as well, right? It is the energy, it is that receptive, intuitive energy in all of us. And I just wanted to read this for Divine Feminine Day, because why not? This is from Amy Young. And she says, Happy Mother's Day for all the mothers. We celebrate you. We celebrate all aspects, good and bad, of motherhood. We know those, right? To those experiencing loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who have walked the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes and prods and tears and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make your journey harder than it is. To those who are foster moms or mentor moms, spiritual moms, the world needs you. To those who have warm and close friendships with your families, we celebrate with you. To those whose children have 4 feet and fur, we walk with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who have lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who have lost a mother this year, we grieve with you. To those who have experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge you. To those who have lived through driving tests, medical tests, the overall tests of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we support your intention with love. To those who step parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who lavish love on their grandchildren, enjoy. To those who have envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream has not yet happened, we will vision with you. To those who have emptier nests, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who placed children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. On this Mother's Day, we walk with you all. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We acknowledge you, all of you. Thank you. That was from Amy Young. That divine feminine is in all of us, men and women, and we know that it is the energy of creativity. It flows through women as far as childbirth or mothering, but also creating anything. Who created a business? Right? You know this. This is an act of mothering as well. Whenever we are in the energy of creation, we are operating through the divine feminine. So happy Mother's Day. Happy Divine Feminine Day to everyone. I love that. I just love that. I am here to tell you lots of things. I'm going to tell you lots of things today, but the first thing I want to tell you is that we have licensed practitioners who are here to pray with you and for you and know the truth for you. So I'd love for the practitioners to raise their hands and just be seen. I'd love for you to be seen and acknowledged. Yay, look around the room. These are the people that are praying with us and for us all year. They've gone to school for years in the art of compassionate listening and the science of healing prayer, and they pray for us. That's what they do. That's living the calling on their heart. So, after celebration today, have a practitioner, sit with them, have some prayer, leave here just lifted and lightened, because that's what it does. Online, we have our meet and greet room after the celebration, and there are breakout rooms where you can meet with practitioners one-on-one as well. So take advantage of that, because we know that prayer changes things. So absolutely do that. We also have guest packets. Yay, guest packets. If you're new to Vision, if you're just visiting, if you're trying us on for size, I love that. People church shop. It's wonderful. It really is. Take one home, read all about it, right? It tells you all about Vision, who we are as a spiritual community, our affiliation with Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide. We are a great bunch of people, are we not? Yay. If you're not a member, you're going to want to be a member. Try us on for size, get the guest packet, read all about us, and we have a greeting on the front we say for ourselves and we say for our guests. Let's say it now. You ready? Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. Yay, I love that. Oh, I do love that. So I want you to turn to somebody and say, welcome to Vision. Let's make it personal. I love it. I love it. Look at us go. We're a social bunch. I just love it. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to James right now, who is our choir director, and he's going to, with the celebration singers, sing us into our 5-minute meditation. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So blessed. I am so blessed, so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed, so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning. My name is Donna Thomas, and I'm a licensed spiritual counselor here at Vision. We welcome you all today in the sanctuary and online for wherever you are, and we're glad that you're here to join us today. I'm going to be reading some quotes, so please take them into your heart as we move into the silence and allow the tones of the bowl to bring you into and out of our 5-minute meditation. Our first quote this morning is from Alan Cohen. Appreciation is the highest form of prayer, for it acknowledges the presence of good wherever you shine the light of your thankful thoughts. And our second quote this morning is from Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science. Let us all seek more consciously to enter into our divine inheritance. Let each set aside definite times in which we are willing to surrender all that we are or have or wish to become to the supreme concept, and lo, peace, joy, and love will appear. The memorial candle is burning today for Vision member Stacy Forcier. Stacy made her transition this past week. And I know that right here, right now, excuse me, there is only one, there is only one principle, one source, one divine. And I know that right here, right now, we are with Stacy and her family at this time of transition. And we know that she is loved, her family is loved, and they are comforted by knowing her presence at this plane of existence. And we know right here, right now, that as Stacy moves into her next experience, she is moving upward and onward on the wings of love in continuing the eternal life. And I know that right here, right now as well, we are all one. We are all individualized expressions of this one, beaming forth the goodness that we are, the awesomeness that we are, and knowing that each one of us is a glorious expression of the one mind. And it is an awesome sight to behold. And I know on this day, this Mother's Day, this grateful day in May, this beautiful day, even though as we look outside here in San Diego, we do see the May gray, we know that that's just an appearance. And we know that underneath that cloud cover and above that cloud cover shines brightly the sun, the infinite intelligence. And as it moves in, around, and through us, we brighten, we shine. We move from good to great to grand, right here, right now, in everything that we do. And I know that anything that may be on our minds that appear to be a troubling experience, it just dissolves back to where it came. For it has no power. The only power is God, is the divine, is spirit, right here, right now. And I am so grateful for this knowing that we are so blessed here at Vision to have the community support, the online support, and the support of each one who make this community what it is. We have our ministers, we have our practitioners, our musicians, our sound, our audio, our visual, our hospitality, our ushers, our greeters, everyone, all of the volunteers who make this a happening place each day of the week and especially on Sundays. We are so grateful for everyone here to share this experience of vision as it plays out into the world. And with this gratitude, I know that it is done, and I release these words into law, knowing that they are made manifest and they never return void. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we let it go and let it be. And together we can say, and so it is.
Our guest today is always really just a reminder of the virtue of having a rock-solid positive attitude about life. So please welcome T.J. Moss.
Thank you, Mark. Well, I got to tell you, this song came from one of those places where I was not so rock-solid positive about life. In fact, I was quite broken, and I was lost, going through a very difficult time. And I was a younger man, and I'll let the song speak for itself, but in that moment of brokenness, this song washed over me, this creation. And it just so happens to be a creation story in itself. So this song is called Mother Ocean. On a morning long ago, much longer than we know, Mother Ocean gave birth to the horizon. And the sun, he looked upon his wife and child. He smiled the warmest smile, and thus the day was done. He kissed his wife, then he moved on, and he brought his child along. Every morning since the dawn of her creation. But a mother always knows, no matter where her child goes, there will always be a place for her at home. The tide is coming in, it's just you and me, old friend. Mother Ocean, I have come to you again. I've been landlocked for so long, and I've been missing your old song. Mother Ocean, show me just how small I am. Mother Ocean, show me how to breathe again. So Horizon had her eyes on someone good, someone whom she understood, and she left her daddy's side. But they'll always be together wherever they may be. After all, they'll always be family. Yeah. The tide is coming in, it's just you and me, old friend. Mother Ocean, I have come to you again. I've been landlocked for so long, and I've been missing your old song. Mother Ocean, show me just how small I am. Mother Ocean, show me how to sing again.
I know what I want to do. Something else, not this. It is Mother's Day, right? And so we're celebrating the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is the energy of creation. So every time you give birth to something, that's the divine feminine, right? That's that divine feminine energy. So it leads me to, of course, Emma Curtis Hopkins, right? She was really, she gave birth to this entire movement, not only religious science or the science of mind and spirit, but unity and divine science and lessons in truth and temple for good. I mean, like everything, all of it, it can be traced back to Emma Curtis Hopkins because she didn't take no for an answer. Right? In a time period where women couldn't own property, women couldn't vote, it's just ridiculous that she opened up a seminary and she taught thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But when you look back in history, there are plenty of women who would not take no for an answer, and I love it. And this is the energy. This is that feminine energy of creation. When we are open and available to it, we let it flow through us. We create. That's what we do. We create things, right? So, all the way back to Mesopotamia, cradle of civilization, birthplace of humanity, right? We had a woman who was in the field of a scribe. A scribe is kind of like, well, they were like lawyers in their days, right? It was a male-dominated field. And there was a woman, I can't remember her name. Wait, I have it. Amat Mamu. She was a scribe, 1700 BCE. Right? She just wouldn't take no for an answer. So she just did that job. And she was so good, she hired other women and trained them. Right? In a time period where it just didn't happen. What about a woman pharaoh? Yep, there was a woman pharaoh about 1518 BCE. Wait a minute, I will get it right. Hatshepsut was her name, and her husband died. She took over as pharaoh. Yes, this is the energy of creation, right? She ruled for about 22 years. So fast forward to the Middle Ages. We had a woman Sufi poet and writer. Don't remember her name. Oh, Rabbi, R-A-B-A-I. Viking ships captained by women, Russian queens. I mean, think about it. Eleanor of Aquitaine, Joan of Arc. Not such a great story, but still. On to the Renaissance. We had Mother Ursula. She was a witch, a seer, a prophetess. What's going on? Is it me? I'm sorry. A female Nostradamus. That's really what she was referred to. And then we had women who owned printing presses and back in the time of Gutenberg and created periodicals in the printing press business. Artists. We had Chiyomi, who was a female ninja. I love that. Female ninja, and she opened up a school for women ninjas to work as spies during Japan's 1,000-year medieval period. Women composers, and who can forget Queen Elizabeth? I mean, really, there were so many women in power because they didn't say no, right? That divine creative energy flowed through them, and they wouldn't take no for an answer. And then, okay, let's move on to the New World. We have Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, who, by all accounts, should have her own holiday in this country. She single-handedly saved thousands with her own smallpox inoculation that she created 70 years before Dr. Jenner discovered inoculation for smallpox. And here's what she did. She inoculated in this country all the founding fathers and all of the writers of the Constitution. This woman should be hailed as a hero in this country. Those guys would have just dropped dead of smallpox, right? Nobody's ever heard of her, but they all know Edward Jenner, who discovered the smallpox vaccine. Anyway, I go on. There were women pirates, Anne Bonny and Mary Read, right? They were female pirates of the Caribbean. No movies about them. And then the Revolutionary War came along. There were Molly Pitchers, but they did more than just deliver water to the men in the field. They did actually battlefield surgeries, right? They would fire the cannons. They were very useful. And then there is Mary Young Pickersgill. She did this little thing. She sewed this little flag. They called it Old Glory. That Francis Scott Key wrote a song about, right? Just, Betsy Ross just had better PR. What can I tell you? But it was her, right? And women like Sybil Luddington, who rode twice as far as Paul Revere on that night when the British were invading. So these are women who didn't take no for an answer. They did their thing. They stood in their power. And this was the power of creation. And throughout history, women have done things like this. That creative energy, that feminine power flows through, right? And that leads me back to Emma Curtis Hopkins, right? There is good for me and I ought to have it. This was her saying. Then this month's theme is from good to great to grand, right? So today's talk is good for you. Good for you. So we started off last week with good, or very good, right? Muy bueno, very good. And today's Mother's Day, and so that started me thinking too, why from good to great to grand? Because really we go from mothers to great grandmothers, right? So shouldn't it be the other way? Shouldn't it be from good to grand to great? Generationally, right? We go from grandmother to great grandmother. So shouldn't it be from good to grand to great? I think I'm overthinking this. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I shall let that part go. Where was I? Okay. There is good, thank you. There is good for you, and you ought to have it. Emma Curtis Hopkins. It is good, ought to. I love the ought. I love the word ought because she used it to say, there is good for you, and it is your duty. That's that word ought means. It is your duty. It is your obligation to have it. It is your obligation. It's almost like a legal term, that word ought. There is good for you, and it is your duty to have it. It is my duty to manifest good. This is our being creative individuals, right? This is in being with this idea of we are creative individuals. So it is our duty, it's our obligation to create. We are creative beings. And as a creative outpicturing of spirit, that's what I do. I reenact the creativity of spirit. I reenact it in my own personal life. So last week we talked about being very good, right? And we said we have good already, don't we? I mean, we already have lots and lots of good. Living in this country, having a roof over our heads, having food, having transportation. I think we have it pretty good, right? We have it kind of pretty good. So when we say there is good and I ought to have it, maybe we think to ourselves, well, I do. Do you get that follow-up feeling of, well, yeah, I kind of do. I kind of already do have my good. I think that's our thought. And Ernest Holmes said this. He said, when we think, something happens to thought. The field through which thought operates is infinite. There's no reason to doubt it. No matter how it is approached, to thought there can be no limit. So we will say that it is the nature of being to react this way. Here and now, we are surrounded by and immersed in an infinite good. How much of this infinite good is ours? All of it. All of it. How much of it may we use? As much as we can embody. Right? And that is the caveat for us. As much as we can embody, believe in, demonstrate. We are surrounded by an infinite good. This means that your having more takes nothing away from someone else. Right? That's the very nature of infinite. When we say infinite good, we used to talk about this in math class, right? There are infinite numbers. How many numbers are there? It's infinite. Okay, but we're just going to talk about the even numbers. How many even numbers are there? And people would say half of infinite. No, infinite. Because it's infinite, right? It just goes on forever. Infinite means infinite. Means we are not taking anything away from anyone else to demonstrate our good, to demonstrate our happiness, to demonstrate our joy. We take nothing away from someone else when we demonstrate a greater idea of livingness, right? They have infinite good available to them. We have infinite good available to them. It's not half of infinite. It's infinite, right? I think that's one of the false beliefs that we must heal if we are going to manifest a greater good in our lives, is that we have to stop thinking I'm taking something away from someone else if I demonstrate a greater idea of my life. We take nothing away from anyone when we manifest a greater good, an infinite good. Infinite is exactly what it means. Again, Ernest says, the more completely we realize good, happiness, success, the more perfectly we express God. And the more of God we do become, that is, the more God becomes personified through us. The more we demonstrate those qualities of God, the more we become that in the world. We have an infinite capacity to do that. God personified through us. Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within, right? The kingdom of God is within. It's not out there, it's not over there, it's not after we die, it's not up in heaven. The kingdom of God is within. That means that seed of perfection within us. That is the truth of us, right? That is that infinite creative spark, spirit within us that we get to demonstrate. Thomas Troward said, my mind is a center of divine operation, and the divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. Expansion and fuller expression. There is no end to the good we can manifest for ourselves and for the world. Right? There is no end to the things we can create in our mind, in our consciousness, and then manifest them in the physical world. There's no end to them. We're acting out of divine operation for fuller expression. Are we doing that, or are we acting out of lack? Are we acting out of limitation? Are we acting out of, because I blah, 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 Are we acting out of fear? And I've been thinking about this. And so since last week, since we discussed and now how we have very good, I kept thinking, okay, maybe there should be a saying that there is a greater good for me, because we have a tendency to deny more because we already have good, right? Oh, I already have good. I'm already good. Thanks, I'm good, right? So what if we say there is a greater good for me and I ought to have it? There is a greater good for me and I ought to have it. We still use that ought because it is our duty, our obligation to manifest this, to enlarge, expand our consciousness so this good can flow through us and bless us and those around us and the country and the world, right? We should get that bigger idea for ourselves. Jean Houston said, when we enter into the deepest part of ourselves, we always find we are connecting with the flow that sustains the entire universe. That's huge, right? The flow that sustains the entire universe, and we are one with it. We are absolutely a manifestation of it. That seed of perfection that is within us is that same energy that created everything. And it continues to create and continues to create. And now it creates through us right here, right now. It's creating through us and everything else in the world. The Christ consciousness, this is what we're talking about, the seed of perfection within us. That Christ consciousness is principle alive within us. Within us, we get to use it. We get to co-create with it. Right? Jesus would have called it the Holy Ghost, right? If you read it in the book, after he had the meal with them, and he was like leaving, he said, but I'll leave you a gift, right? I'm going to leave you the Holy Ghost, right? The Holy Spirit came down, it was a flame. You saw all those old pictures. Everybody watched I can't remember what the guy's name was. Who was that old director? Can't remember. Anyway, the flame. That was the Holy Ghost, right? Jesus, that was the story. What it is the Christ consciousness within. That's really what was left with us, right? This idea that seed of perfection is within us. And the Gospel of Thomas said, the Father's kingdom, we'll talk about that in a minute, the Father's kingdom is spread out upon the earth and people do not see it. Now, the Father simply is, it's just symbolic. It means origin, source, right? The original, the source of all being. When they say the word Father, they're talking about the creative, energy that birthed everything into being. The kingdom is simply thought. The kingdom is mind. It's not about doing stuff. It's about being stuff, right? So the kingdom, the original source, is just all around us. We're surrounded by it, right? And it's about right thinking. It's not about right doing. We'll get to the doing. We get to the doing, right? There is something to do after a while. But we're talking about consciousness. This is about consciousness. Truth spread out before us, and we don't see it. We don't see it. Why? Why? Because we have our BS between us and God, right? Just inserted right there between us and God. We have our belief system. I'm being good. We have our belief system. Our BS is lodged right there between us and this truth that is spread out before us, of why we can't have it. The only thing standing between us and our greater good is our BS story that we can't have it. That's all it is. It's our because, right? I'd be great, but it's your butt. Let's talk about your butt, It's your butt. It's getting in the way. That's really what's happening. The only thing that gets between us and the demonstration of our greater good is our belief we cannot have it, right? When we stop giving attention to what comes between us and God, things change, don't they? When we stop paying attention to the BS, to the things to the buts. Sorry. It's like junior high school humor. Right? So what are we saying? What are we saying when we do that? It's like, well, I could do this, I could do that, but, right? And the but, and then comes the BS. After the but is the BS. We're saying we can't have our good, right? That's what comes between us and our good, is the story of why we can't have our good. So what are we saying when we say that? We're saying, my challenge is bigger than my God. My problem is stronger, is bigger, is more important than my God. That's what we're saying. We're saying our condition is bigger, is greater than our God. Oh, hell no. Just no. It's not. Our practice then is to stop paying attention to the condition and look to spirit. Right? This is almost pure Joel Goldsmith, isn't it? Just look to God. Right? You got this thing up in your face. Just look to God. Look to God. Some rabbi, I can't remember his name, sorry, I'll look it up later. But he said, God's the only thing happening. God's the only thing that's happening. Right here, right now. In everybody's life, God's the only thing happening. Even if it doesn't look like it. Right? Even when stuff looks like it's a mess. When we are in turmoil, our job is to know peace in the midst of the turmoil, not just to pray to get rid of the turmoil. You see what I'm saying? We are to know peace in the midst of the turmoil, during the turmoil, while everything is going crazy. It is our job to know peace in the turmoil, not just to try to get rid of the turmoil. Right? Ernest Holmes said he sits in the darkness until he sees the light. And he sits in the silence until he hears it speak. This is what we do. This is the way that we grow that consciousness. Be with it. Sit in it until Spirit speaks. That still small voice within us speaks. We sit in the condition and we insist on knowing truth. Right where we are, right in the middle of it, right in the mess. We deal with what is in front of us, all the while knowing truth, knowing a higher truth, that God is right there in the mess, right there. And this is our practice. this is how we operate in the world from that place, from that perfection. Gospel of Thomas says, when you know yourselves, you will be known. When you know yourselves, you will be known. Right? This is the light that we stand in. This is what we do. We stand in the light. We know ourselves. We are the light. The light is within each one of us. That seed of perfection is within each one of us. And Spirit waits on our welcome. Spirit waits on our welcome, on our acknowledgement, to know it for ourselves. Right? Emma said, good waits for truth. We must tell it. We must tell it. We must be in our truth and absolutely demand it. Absolutely tell it. That's why she had those 12 lessons in the absolute. She was really absolute. But when we claim our power expands. Do you feel that? Right? When we know who we are, when we claim our power expands. This was really Emma's 12 lessons, right? This was, there is good for me. There's a greater good for me. I love that even better. There is a greater good for me, and I ought to have it. And she said ought for several reasons, right? We talked about the one, that it's our obligation, it's our duty. The other thing I love about it is that it's a relative term. It's a relative term, right? So she's speaking in the absolute, but we have to go through the relative to get there, don't we? I got to start somewhere. I got to start where I am. And right where I am, it doesn't feel like my good is right here. It feels like it's over there someplace, or I don't have it, or I can't see it. So she threw that in too. So we go through the relative to get to the absolute. We start where we are. But we start in the desire to move forward rather than starting with the problem and trying to fix it. How many times do we do that? Right? Oh, look at this mess. I got to fix it. I got to do something. I got to wish it away. I have to dissolve it. I have to figure it out. I love that one. Got to figure it out, like we're the ones doing the work. We're not doing the work. Spoiler alert, we're not doing the work. We're pointing the way like law, right? When we meditate, we're listening for that still small voice, for direction, for creativity, for the unfoldment of our creative energy to move in a direction. We're listening for that direction. When we speak our word, we are directing the law. When we speak our word in affirmative prayer, then we are acting as Spirit, directing the law in a creative way so that our life expands, expresses, improves, whatever. Right? We're not trying to fix anything. Spirit is creative, and so are we. And we have free will to create troubles or to create blessings. Which would you rather have? Right? Blessings or troubles? Ernest Holmes said, you rob no person when you discover your own good. You limit no person when you express a greater degree of livingness. You harm no one by being happy. You steal from no one by being prosperous. You hinder no person's evolution when you consciously enter into the kingdom of your own good and possess it today. Just breathe that in. There is a greater good for me, and I ought to have it. Say it with me. We're going to say it 3 times. 3 times. You ready? There is a greater good for me, and I ought to have it. There is a greater good for me, and I ought to have it. There is a greater good for me, and I ought to have it. And so it is. There you go. Good for you.
Thank you, Reverend Patti. That was beautiful. What a wonderful reminder of some amazing women that they just did, you know? They didn't ask those questions. And so that's what this song is called. They just do. It's like we planned it. But really, it's the most recent song I wrote, and so I think that it was divinely planned that way. And I didn't have enough, examples, but all these women, they just did. And my wife, who is a new mother, it's her first Mother's Day, 2:30 a.m. She just did. And so here we are. Band, you ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Birds don't ask if they can sing. Phones don't ask if they can ring. They just do, do 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 do. They just do. If they can shine, trees don't ask if they can climb. They just do, do 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 do. Things just do. They just do. No explaining, no refraining, nothing to prove. They just do. Don't ask if they can break. Hearts don't ask if they can ache. They just do, 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 do. Things just do. Kids don't ask if they can grow up. Bombs don't ask if they can blow up. They just do, 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 do. Things just do. Nothing to prove, they just do. No permission, no position, nothing to lose. When you think that doing nothing, still doing something, things just do. Fires don't ask if they can rage. Dreams don't ask if they can fade. They just do, 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 do. They just do. Last time, one. They just do. No explaining, no refraining, nothing to prove. They just do. No permission, no position, nothing to lose. And when you think doing nothing, still doing something, things just do. They just do. They just do. They just do. Thanks, y'all. I love it here. I love coming here.
Oh, there you are, Mike. Yay, Mikey's up. Okay, that means it's time for conscious circulation. I love it. This is our time that we give back. We practice that idea of infinite, right? Infinite good in the universe, and we allow it to pass through us, and then we pass it on, and we do things like pay the rent, keep the lights on, keep the air conditioning on, all kinds of things. What do we do with our money? We accept it and we give it, right? We stay in the flow of giving and receiving all the time. I just love it. And you just can't outgive God. Just give it a try. 1 month, just try. Doesn't work. You receive more. It's lovely. Let's pray. Just knowing that there is one source and supply, that Spirit is forever giving to its creations, and that we are that. We know that we are always sourced and supplied. There is infinite good in the universe, and we know that we accept gratefully and we pass on graciously, and we remain in that flow, accepting in gratitude, because we know gratitude grows things. And so I give thanks for all of these gifts that pass through Vision, that allow Vision to do its work, its ministry in the world, in this building and outside of these four walls, doing good as we would see it done in the world. So giving great thanks for the good that flows through this organization, through this ministry. I'm so grateful. Giving great thanks. I know it is. I know it eternally is, and so it is.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully, freely. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and go. As I give, so do I receive. So do I receive, offering my first and best. As I give, so do I receive, knowing how I've been blessed. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and go. As I give, so do I receive.
So I have a miracle minute to share. This comes to us from Dr. Brett. I love this. Just so neat. My dad turns 84 today, and though we struggled in the past to see eye to eye over COVID, we began talking more and establishing a more loving relationship. He was a smoker for over 60 years, and he has COPD, and he's being treated for prostate cancer, but seems to be overcoming it. But his health is not great. So Friday, 2 days ago, he was admitted to the hospital for an oxygen level that was too low and a little pneumonia, a lot of pneumonia. Anyway, my whole family was frightened about what this could mean. Marcus asked if he could send out prayer requests, and he did. I'm so glad. By the afternoon, prayers were coming in from the practitioners. Within 24 hours, my dad not only stabilized, but was switched back to oral meds, got home oxygen approved and set up. Last night, he went home to sleep in his own bed, and he wakes up in the morning to his birthday at home with his wife. Yes, I love it. Thank you so much. And it says, even I, as a physician, could not have predicted such a quick turnaround and discharge. I was hoping he wouldn't deteriorate, but I asked for the best and brightest path for my dad, and Spirit knew that. It was the best Mother's Day gift ever. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love it. Keep those demonstrations of answered prayer coming in. Don't you love them? Don't you love just hearing it, hearing Spirit at work in in our lives. I'm back with Emma, sorry. Emma Curtis Hopkins used to say, well, we hold the high watch. You've heard that talked about around here. We ask practitioners to hold the high watch. And what Emma referred to it, when she referred to holding the high watch, she would just say, look up. When you're looking up, just at a 45-degree angle. It's not like up, but just at a 45-degree angle. She said, what holding the high watch means is watch God. Watch God at work in your life. Watch God what it does. And I love that. I just love that. Anyway, it is now time for the last word by Johnny Kirko. Run, run, run. Ooh. I like it.
Now that is hot. Good job, Jim. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody online. We continue our meet and greet right after our celebration. Practitioners are available for one-on-one prayer. Love to say hello in our community. I'm going to come in and say hello today, too. How about Reverend Patti? You want to come and say hi today then? So we'll have Reverend Patti come in there, too. Everybody online. So this week, we have a couple events. First of all, Wednesday's movie night. We're going to show the movie Wonka. Really cool movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it is the prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka. So it's really cool. I watched it last month. I loved it so much. I'm the one who said, TK, let's show that movie. So that's what we're going to do. Wednesday, 7 p.m., fresh popcorn will be popped. On Thursday night, we have Andy and Nathan here. They're going to be doing the cabaret concert. We're going to have tables set up. It's Andy's birthday. It was, I think it was yesterday his birthday was, or the last couple of days, so we're celebrating his birthday. Come and be a part of that really fantastic twosome. They are really a lot of fun, Andy and Nathan right here. Also, so this week, also Friday and Saturday, we have Brother Tete who's going to be doing his workshop. It's Embracing Your Next Level. They want to know if anybody else is interested in joining. They want to know a head count. So if you're going to join, please do that today so that we have a number. And what we're going to do, it's Friday evening and Saturday all day. On next Sunday evening, we're having Amy Steinberg in concert back here. Amy Steinberg she was just here about 3 months ago, but she wanted to do another concert, so she's coming back. So if you want to be a part, we have that at 7 p.m. And the week after that, we have open mic night. So we have a class starting up with Reverend Jean Phillips. Where are you, Reverend Jean? It's Journey of the Soul, and she's starting, what is the date? It is May 23rd. There you go. Thanks, Reverend Jean.
Yeah. Yay. Yes, Journey of the Soul, a brand new 6-week certificated class that I'm teaching online starting in 2 weeks. Basically, I'm calling all souls to come play with me, right? And to grow. You know, the soul, that eternal, creative part of us that Patti was just describing, well, it whispers and nudges. You know, we can't always hear it so well. So, but in this class, you'll learn the techniques and some tools to tune into that voice and to unlock your true potential. So if you're feeling stuck on your life path with questions of where to go next, what the next step is, or just your life purpose, this is the class for you to take. It's very interactive and experiential, and it's guaranteed to be fun and just a powerful experience. So it uses the book Magic of the Soul, which also includes a CD, as well as online meditations. So special meditations that are connected to each of the lessons. So it combines the principles of modern spiritual psychology with the power of science of mind teaching. So it's a great combination. It begins Thursday, May 23rd, goes from 6:30 to 9, and again, it's online, so everybody can join. The tuition for this certificated 6-week class is $195, $175 if you're a member. But I also, you know how James always tells us, don't let money stand in the way of your growth and your deepening experience of life. So there are partial scholarships as well. But I do hope you'll join me to explore the magic of your soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jean. We have books in the bookstore as well, so if you want to check it out and see what that is going to be about, Reverend Gene will be starting that on Thursday. It's online. So we are starting the Vision Gourmets for God. Rich Poser, one of our core council members, wants to talk, and we're trying to get some hosts and cooks.
Who's hungry? Okay. I just want to give you an update of how Gourmet for Gods is going, and it's going great. We've got about 9 hosts already signed up for events from June to... That's just the beginning, folks. We need more people. We've got about 3 confirmed events that are already set up to be executed. We've got 2 more weeks in May that we're going to continue recruiting hosts. So if you want to grab one of these forms, it's on the activity board outside, or see me, and we can sign you up and get an event on the roster as well. After May, when we get all this stuff tabulated, in June we'll start the silent auction. It'll be posted on the hallway outside here for people to bid on their seats at the table, at the tables. And as well as we'll have some fun stuff right up from here. We'll have some quick fire auctions live in the house. Just to give you an idea though, people had a misconception that you have to be a gourmet cook to host one of these events. That's not true. That's a false belief. You can go by Trader Joe's and get a package of cheese, bottle of popcorn, and call it a movie night. And you also, some people felt, well, I don't have a big enough space to host a party for 6. You can go to a picnic in the park. So some of the events that are already on the books is Janet and I are hosting a Greek dinner pool party. Mama Parisi, or Reverend Patti, will be hosting an Italian bistro right here in the room. And we're going to have a picnic in the park and an optional bicycle ride before and after the event down in Pepper Park. So be creative. We also have someone who's volunteered to be a guest cook if you want to be a host, but you don't want to cook. So we'll put you together. So see me after the service. People online, send your information into info@visioncsl.com. We'll put you all together, and we'll get you a seat at the table.
Thank you, Rich. We've talked a little bit about, we're looking for a youth director, so if you know anybody who would like to become a youth director or loves children, we'd love to talk to you about that. We are going to be paying on that, so it used to be volunteer. So we're also looking for a core council member. We're looking for someone who's a member of Vision who wants to serve us and be a part of us for the next 3 years. If that's you, come and see me or Reverend Patti or one of our core council members, including Rich, and we'll talk to you a little bit about what that looks like. And it's usually just once a month we get together at a meeting, we talk a little bit about what's going on and talk about opportunities for growth for Vision. So, and speaking of growth for Vision, I just want to give a big shout out to Ann and Maria for putting that fair together yesterday. Fantastic job. Way to go, ladies. You guys rocked it. I heard some wonderful things about that. That was our 4th one, is that correct? And we're going to be planning another one soon, is that correct too? So yeah, so we're going to keep on working on perfecting that, so good job. Also, so next week, our guest speaker is Reverend Audra Nicole, who's going to be with us. Reverend Audra started with Vision many, many years ago, and she came into Vision. She was wearing covered her mouth. She didn't want to talk. It was her very first day in Division, and from there, she's loved us and can't stop talking. So she's going to be here next week to give us a talk, and we will have Nathan Fry, Janice Edwards, and Tony Davis, who's going to be singing for us. So that's going to be cool. I want to give a big shout out to TJ Moss today. What I love about TJ is he writes his own music and stuff, and how cool, and just to see his face today about his new baby, oh, that's so cool. Congratulations on that too, TJ. Also, so I mentioned that Tony and Janice and Nathan will be next week, and then we're having a concert with them coming up on a Thursday at the end of the month. So we're going to be doing a concert, so check them out next week and then be a part of the concert in a couple weeks. We're looking forward to having them. Also, next week is we're exploring Asian American and Pacific Islander, and we're asking anybody who wants to bring food for that next week, right, Larry? So if you have anything that you want to share in that, see our hospitality. We'd like to talk to you a little bit about what you can make and what food that is. I'm not for sure all the food that it will be, but they will have a better idea of what that looks like, and we'll be sharing that and celebrating that next week. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say we had the best time yesterday at that fair. Oh my gosh, thank you, that psychic and healing fair. And I know Ellen Elrack, you did, the hospitality was amazing. The food that was presented, that was just super. Everybody enjoyed it. And what I loved about the event is there were so many volunteers from Vision just to help to keep it going, to keep it organized, to keep it on track. I know Reverend Jean was there and Janine was there and who else was there yesterday? And yeah, Cindy May was a runner. I mean, everybody. LaTanya was there doing her work, and it was just, and then I don't know who came in and reset the room. Who came and reset the room? Holy moly, Susie and TK, and just incredible work, just incredible. I love that we get together and support each other. It's just, it is such a blessing. This is spiritual community, right? This is what we do. We love each other, we support each other's highest and best good, right? And it just grows up in this community so beautifully. I love it. Okay, anyway, I'm done. Let's stand up and say our affirmations, and then we're going to sing out and then get ready to pray with one of our practitioners. Ready? We're here? Yes. Okay, let's do this thing. Inner wisdom is my guide. I deserve to feel amazing every day. I am so grateful for the awesome women who guide and support me. Well, how about we say, I don't know, 2 and 3. I like 2 as well. So 2 and 3. I deserve to feel amazing every day. I am so grateful for the awesome women who guide and support me. Just love it. I just love it. Let's go into prayer one more time here this morning, knowing as we go within, we go into that place of peace within, that seed of perfection that is nestled within us, as Walt Whitman called it. That Christ consciousness, our highest good, residing within us, that knows the way, that knows us and loves us unconditionally, that holds the light for us and smooths out the path and opens the doors so that we may proceed on this spiritual path unencumbered. In love, in joy, and in light, I know that we transform the world just by our being in it. My good is my God is my joy, my good is my health, my God is my health. I know that there is only one. It is God. It is good always and in all ways, and so it is.
I am the peace of God in this world, the presence of Spirit's grace for all. I live the truth that sets all people free. I am the peace of God. I am the peace of God. And I shine, the light of truth within me, creating peace on earth. Yes, I shine my light, the light of truth within me, creating peace on earth. Yes, I shine my light, the light of truth within me, creating peace on earth. Yes, I shine.